we recently had a wonderful family that was a refugee family coming in, and they have been able to move out into their own apartment. And Redeemer, we partnered with them through World Relief. We offered them just assistance in getting set up, getting plugged in, food, meals, clothes. And so just thank you for your help in supporting this family and helping them just settle in. It was such a gift. So that's going to wrap up for Sub Giorgio. Wippo's going to come up and share a little bit more about the worship. If you haven't met Wippo, he is our new worship director. He came on in January of this year, and so he's been the guy hanging out up here, leading us in worship on Sundays. So he's going to come and share a little bit about his work that he's doing and how you can get involved a little more.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for being flexible and taking that on with no notice at all. The video works now, now that we don't need it anymore. So sorry for that. So yes, my name's Brian. I've met most of you, but for those who I haven't, I started here in January, and first I wanted to say thank you all. You have been so welcoming and loving and kind to my family and I. We felt welcomed from the start. This community has been such a blessing to us. There's always, growing pains and like transition is hard, but you all have been so gracious to me and to our family. So thank you for that. We have done a couple of new things this year as far as worship services. The Ash Wednesday service that we combined with Hope and Salem for, which I thought was a really great evening, really well attended. It was great to have all three of those kind of communities come back together for that service and be united in that way. And then our Good Friday service, which I know maybe in the past we've done some sort of Good Friday thing, but I thought it was great to kind of go through that together and celebrate Holy Week as a church that way. We've also, I'm sure you've seen, got lots of new volunteer musicians who have done an amazing job and have been such a blessing to me to work with. And I know that they've been a blessing to you as they use the gifts that God's given them to help you all sing and praise the Lord. And so we do need more, though. We could use more musicians in almost every role. And I'm not looking for professionals, but people who at least have some experience and can play and sing well enough to not be distracting. But the primary qualification is someone who loves the Lord and wants to help others worship in that way. If you've been given those gifts, so please come talk to me if you have any musical gifts that you've been hiding from me, or if you know somebody who won't say anything themselves, but you wanna out them, so I can find them and talk with them. Let me know. And that's also true for like our audio and video volunteers as well. If you have any kind of background there, could certainly use more people there as well. And so, yeah, really, I want to help like lead this team so that on Sunday mornings we can sing together songs that are gospel centered and Christ exalting. That the Word of God can dwell richly in our hearts through those songs, and that we can unite our voices together and sing the truth of the gospel and have our affections stirred up as we unite our voices together and worship our Lord through song. And so that's something that like I'm still getting to know you all. I'm learning Redeemer and getting to know you all, and you're getting to know me too. And so as we build relationship, I'm hoping to continue to learn better how to serve this church and how to shepherd through the songs that we sing. But thank you all for being so so loving and caring toward us, and thank you for singing together with us to sing the praises of the Lord. So I think that's all I got. Ashley or Justin?
So I'm going to just give a quick update on adult ministries. Really thankful for Brian and all he's done and since being here. Thanks, dude. Couple things on adult ministries. So remember that next week we start our summer service hours at 9 and 11. There's no Sunday school. Worship training is paused for the summer. And we do have nursery from 0 to 4. And we'll run that through September 7th. Our Wednesday night gatherings return over the summer. Life groups kind of make their own decisions about if they're meeting or not meeting during the summer. But in lieu of that, we have Wednesday night gatherings. Our Wednesday night gatherings will be June 11th, July 16th, and August the 6th from 5 to 7. You can sign up on the website to attend and or volunteer. As part of that, we are also starting something new. Since we're only doing 3 Wednesday night gatherings, we wanted an opportunity for us to connect in some other ways. And so that way we're helping you to connect is through what's called summer suppers. And essentially, a summer supper is in July and August. We're inviting you into having dinner with people in our congregation. On specific summer evenings, groups of approximately 8 adults, including the host, will gather in someone's home to share a meal. The twist to this is that you will not know who's coming when you sign up. Each group is a surprise mix of people from our church family, new faces, familiar ones, and our hope in that is to kind of spread out connection across the body in some new ways. Kids are also welcome to those summer suppers. We need hosts for those summer suppers, someone who will open their home, create space for connection, and so we just ask you, would you consider being a host? When you do that, you'll choose a date and time that works best for you. You'll contact the group once it fills up and introduce yourself and share your address. You'll provide a simple meal, nothing fancy is needed. Invite guests to bring a side like salad, fruit, or dessert. And then you'll welcome a group of 6 to 7 people and plus kids to your house. So we'd love for you to sign up for that. You can do that on the website, or you can let one of us know. Lastly, we did conclude our sermon series on Encounters with John, and over the summer we'll be doing Ecclesiastes. So get ready to be depressed. I'm going to invite Ashley up. She's going to inspire you. Yeah, good job.
Can you hear me? Yay. So we're going to talk about children's ministry, and this time of year, as we start getting ready for VBS, I always start to think about Acts, and I start to think about like just the energy and vitality that the Spirit brings to this place through our children, and especially, yes, during Easter, and we had a great Easter egg hunt last month. But also VBS is the hugest mission outreach here on this campus that happens every year. And so I was looking through the registration and the question that says, do you attend church, and if so, where? So there's lots of Redeemer. There's lots of Salem Pres. There's some Hope Presbyterian. And then there's like Church of Latter-day Saints, like lots, like 7 or 8. Kids, and like Twin City Bible Church, Salem Chapel. There's little pockets of kids from around the city that worship other places, other denominations that come here. And then there's a lot that say she doesn't go to church or hasn't been to church. So that is amazing when you really think about it, that this is us spreading the gospel here at this place. And so, right? Yes. I know, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And so I think about that verse in Acts that says, you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria to the ends of the earth. And so this is Jerusalem, right? So we start where we're at with our own kids and anyone that God gathers here. And so we do need help. We need your time. But more than that, like if you can't offer your time during that week of June, we'll take your trees. And what I mean is your Christmas trees. So you can drop them off in the lobby, put your name on them, especially smaller trees, like something you might get rid of in the next couple years. So if it got a little messed up and lost a few, you're not going to be too super sad. And then also for our Wednesday night gathering, which is June 11th. So if you work during the week, if you have like a 30-minute time slot that you could step in for me or Shannon or Hella, who's always been a big part of this, I'm sure she's still managing Wednesday night suppers. But if you had 30 minutes that you could just stand at the jumpy jump and count heads, and really all you have to say is, time's up, and they'll come out. So like it really takes a lot of different gifts, and it's not us like continually begging because we're confident in the Lord and in his power and work. It happens every year. Somehow he manages to pull it all together. So yeah, and lastly, like even if you're not a part of VBS, you're still a part of children's ministry if you're not serving on a regular basis down there. I was just reflecting, my youngest turned 8 today, and I was just thinking back to like when I was 8, and it was a sanctuary very similar to this size. And like I still remember people's outfits, like Mr. like Richard, who sat like 2 rows down and like to the left. And I didn't really know him, but like he was kind to us, and I still remember him because he was always there on Sundays when we gathered. And it's a really sweet spot for kids who may be going through hard stuff, and their parents do everything they can just to get them here most Sundays. So thank you for being part of the children of our church and for all that you do. So thanks.
All right, I'm Jonathan Murphy, aka Murph. Just kidding, I'm not. Yeah, filling in for Murph. He's got a basketball tournament. Well, not he. Hunt has a basketball tournament, so go sports. Big shoes to fill. Size 13 Carolina Jordans. Okay, what? Go Heels. Yeah, so I'm giving the recap on youth. We had a really good spring. It's been a really good year. Yeah, leaders have been pursuing. Really grateful for the team that we have. Just a lot of people have stepped up for middle schoolers and high schoolers behind the scenes and showing up with students. And just grateful for the folks that have been generous with their time to show up in our students' lives. Recently, I was reminded of a study that came out where it was talking about like kind of the developmental needs of children and what it takes for a child to have like a healthy upbringing. And like a really important part of that is to have 2 non-parent adults take an interest in them. So I just think that's kind of the role that we get to play in youth ministry specifically, but really just overall, like as the family of God, that I find to be really beautiful. And that's what we've been up to this spring. Weekly middle school, large group gatherings. I focus more on high school, so I haven't been super involved in that, but Trent and Jess have been really faithful in that up until having their baby. Whoop, whoop. Veterans. Yeah, we've been having monthly high school dinners and hot topic nights as well. Those have been really good, times of fellowship. Our last hot topic night was on sexuality. Giorgio came in, and also Robin Allward volunteered a little bit of her time and shared some of her story and wisdom and just wrestling with that. Something that is definitely prominent culturally that we just want to wrestle with relationally with the Lord and with one another. So glad that we had this space for that. You can go to the next slide. Is there a next slide? Sweet, okay. Yeah, so looking forward to the summer. We got a few fun things coming down the pipe. We got Love Out Loud camp this summer, which I love, very passionate about, and just a great opportunity, yeah, to connect with other church bodies across the city and to serve the city. I love it because it's just a good reminder and good formation in like the family of God is bigger than just our denomination and just our church, and the purposes of God are bigger than just our building. So I love it, and it's fun, and it's exhausting, and you sweat and play, and it's great. Sign-ups will be coming out for that, they are live, just kidding. And then for Wednesday night gathering, something that we have done with the youth is just having middle school and high school specific activities kind of near the end. So we will be organizing that again this summer. So be on the lookout for that. Bring your middle schoolers and high schoolers to those things. We'll have something for them. July 2, Winston-Salem Dash baseball games. Sign up coming out soon. We did that last summer. It was a good time. And then kind of near the end of the summer, before we get back into school, we're planning on doing another Cugino Forno dinner, just like last summer. So that's what we got. Yeah, thank you again to everybody who's been involved with youth over the course of this year. It's just really cool, and yeah, just grateful for everybody's efforts. Yeah.
Good morning. Just wanted to say hello and thank you for taking time, and wanted to make sure that everybody knows what Hand in Hand is. So Hand in Hand is an official ministry started, hey honey, Cecil just got back in town. Started July of 24 officially, but Redeemer's been involved with people's lives from the beginning. And we are formally to enfold adults, kids, and teens into the life of Redeemer, into what we're organically and what's happening formally. And it's for kids, adults, teens with disabilities, and even just folks that have learning differences, folks that need a little extra support, maybe without even an official diagnosis, which is great too. And just a desire for those folks to grow in their relationship with the Lord and with the Church of Redeemer. And so a couple pictures up here. We had a baby shower for Elena and Matt had a baby girl, Lucy. And then the bottom picture shows our adult class with Catherine and Cammie. We were learning Bible stories around surrounding fruits of the Spirit. And then Olivia and Cammie attended Women's Day, the Women's Day out, and Pat Abbott gave Olivia and Cammie foot rubs, which that picture didn't make it up there, but that was pretty amazing. So I had the opportunity to go to DC the end of April to attend a conference called Disability and the Church. And as I was reflecting on that, there were a lot of things to share, but I think the most important thing to bring to you all was that there were over 600 attendees from all over the country and from 5 different countries, just really there to learn about how to serve, how to connect, how to grow, how do we just love on our families who are impacted by disability. And so that was a huge opportunity, and I'm still really unpacking all that I learned from that. And so another opportunity that's coming up in the spring, you can pray about this. Engaging Disabilities has received a grant, a $1.25 million grant from Eli Lilly. And we are currently applying for that to be a part of that. If we are a part of that, we would be one of 25 churches, and we would be starting in January for a year and a half. There'll be cohorts, monthly meetings. We have a team of people at Redeemer who have agreed to be on the team if we receive that grant, part of that. So just lots of upcoming opportunities to really, as I was thinking about it, how do I communicate what is the desire? Like, what do we want Hand in Hand to look like? We really want to fan the flames of what people are doing organically, just by loving on our kids and loving on our adults in really sweet ways. And so a lot of people, and I don't have this slide, and I can share it later, there's a ministry called With Ministry, and they only do research. And his research showed words that parents use or families use for how they engage with church and community when there's a disability ministry at their church versus families that don't. And the words that families use were very different. Anxiety was in both categories. It's challenging no matter what, but the sense of belonging and connection and being known was very different. And so we want to continue that. We want to fan those flames for what's happening. Just a couple quick stories. I was at a life group meeting this past week, and one of our adult men, I'm not going to use anybody's names, people might know who they are, but I haven't asked for permission, one of the adult men said that he feels like he's at home. And that almost makes me cry. He feels like he's at home when he's with his life group. And that's what we want everybody to feel like, not just, we want everybody to feel like they're at home. They're at home at Redeemer. And the other thing is another member from our church reached out to us this past week and said, can I come over and play a game with y'all? Last night, and we sat and played games. And that happened because this person, Amy Jeffers, has a relationship with Olivia. She texts with her. She goes and sees her after women's Bible study on Tuesday. And so those things are happening. And I don't have permission to talk about all those, and I certainly don't have time, but it's happening. And we want to create more opportunities. And the last thing I'll say is there are families that have been asked to leave churches or said, we can't serve you. You don't fit here. We can't. And that's not like a made-up story. That's real. And so we don't want that. And that's not happening here. But we want those people that don't have families we want to be able to say, you're welcome here. And so these educational opportunities are hopefully ways that we're going to grow as a congregation so that we can be really comfortable in that. And the last thing I'm going to say, because I need to go to my hand-in-hand Sunday school party, which is happening down at the end of the hall. I know that not everybody knows me, but I wanted to quickly say the names of people who are volunteering. If they're in your life group, if they're friends of yours, if you're interested in learning more, please ask them about it. They would love to share, and I feel confident that they will give you lots of good stories and reasons that you might want to volunteer. Vicki Williamson, Nan Beck, Elena Aaronholtz helped teach our adult class. Sarah Johnson, Mary Beth Gerstmeyer, Cecil Blake Hill, John Bender, Claire Brueggemann, and Kelly Goldsmith are helpful in buddies during Sunday morning worship training or Sunday school. And Lee Wagner and Nicole Eskridge, who is new, I'm not sure if she's here, but Nicole is new, and they are on our hand-in-hand leadership team. So it's been a great year, and we're looking forward, and I think I've been more than 3 minutes. Sorry, Caitlin. So thank you.
All right. My heart was beating fast as she was talking. I thought, why do I have to follow her? That stinks. Yeah, what she just said about families leaving is so true. Like, my brother has 6 kids in Knoxville, Tennessee, and they just recently changed churches. They have 3 kids with special needs, including one in a wheelchair, and they had to make a church change recently, and that is really real. And so it is awesome that we get to be a place of welcoming here at Redeemer. Okay, my stuff. Here we go. Staffing, really quickly. Next slide, please. Caitlin Lockey, not leaving, but role change. So Caitlin, as you may know, has been and is for another week our communications coordinator and worship coordinator. When Caitlin was originally hired in 2021, she was only communications coordinator, and systematically over the course of several years took on about 4 other jobs. We've been slowly removing those from her so that she could get back to focusing on communications. And so she came this spring and said, hey, I'd really love to shed this last one and just go back to communications, which is where I was and what I really feel called and passionate to do. And so that's what's happening. At the moment, we're not going to rehire anybody for this position. There's been some of these duties that were already in process moving off of her plate, different volunteer teams and other stuff. And so we're distributing some of those duties. But Caitlin is not going anywhere, but is going to be focused on communications only. So I wanted to let you know, if you're on one of her volunteer teams, I believe she already sent out an email to you, and you'll start to see some emails if you serve on Sunday mornings in this room, coming from other people, one of whom will be yours truly. So anyway, okay, that's it for that. Just wanted to let you know, but she's not in the room. Of course, she's not. I just saw her walk by. Hey, Caitlin, if you're out there, we're going to clap for you for your 4 years. Thanks. All right. I can just imagine she was probably walking down the hallway to go to the cafeteria right then to set up over there. So anyway, so she's continuous communications, but has been almost 4 years in the worship role. Okay, let's go on to finance updates. A handful of slides here. I'll try to get through these quickly. We really wanted this congregational meeting to be focused on directors. I wish I could stand up here and just brag about them, because I feel like I have stories about all of them and the wonderful things that they're doing. But instead, we're gonna run through some quick finances here. So quickly, our general fund contributions. This is regular internal giving to the general fund. Fiscal year to date are a little over $1 million. This is $145,000, which is 13% less than we budgeted for the general fund, and about 87,000, 8% behind where we were last year. Now, this is general fund, so this does not include income to any of our designated funds, missions, deacons, new wine. So I'm going to talk about new wine in a minute. So this is just general fund, but that's where we're at, general fund. If you go to the next slide, there's a different way to look at it for the year, but you'll see the months there. And we talked about this in our last congregational meeting in March, that December was very low compared to what we budgeted, much lower than normal. We've had some other months that have been good, November specifically, January specifically, but these last few months, we haven't been able to make up that December shortfall in the general fund giving. You may say, why? Where's all that money? Where has it gone? Well, let's go to the next slide. I do think some of it has gone to new wine, which just is what it is. So we've talked about this a lot. The operations deacons have talked about this a lot, and we've kind of, as we've looked at our income this year, we've kind of said, we're a little behind, but like new wine is doing really well, and maybe there's a little bit of like robbing Peter to pay Paul with that, which happens. Like I've talked to other executive pastors about capital campaigns, and this is definitely something that can happen sometimes. But the good news, and which I want you to see this and truly celebrate, is that currently, in terms of our pledges or expected giving to new wine or in relation to new wine over these 2 years, we're at 663,000 of 625, so we're actually over our goal right now in terms of those things. Yeah, it's okay to clap. So we're 106% there. You'll see that on the bottom left that the money we've received thus far is 227, almost 228,000. So we're already about 36% of our total money has already come in for our goal, which we just launched, if you remember, January, February. 83 families participating out of 191 that are in our database, 43%, which we're encouraged by, excited about. We'd love to see that get closer maybe to 60, but 40 to 60, Steve Wakes Norris assures me is normal and fine. But that's where we're at right there. Would love to see that continue to go up. But that's kind of where new wine is at. Yeah, and so I just want to say, I do want to apologize. You already clapped, so don't clap again. But I do want to say thank you. Like, truly, we are really encouraged by this as leadership, as staff, as pastors. Really encouraged by where we're at. So thank you for responding and for prayerfully considering and supporting this initiative. We're really humbled by it. And it's not over. We still have months to go. We're working on plans to continue to communicate how we're spending this money and where things are going. One thing that you should know is the update that you just heard right before me from Christy is a direct connection to new wine. When she asked if she could become focused on disabilities, move out of children's ministry, it's a little bit of a swing for us because we didn't know, we were anticipating that we would have this new wine money, but we said yes, knowing that we were going to do this campaign. And as she moves into this next year, we're going to continue to increase her hours. We want her to continue to engage more with hand-in-hand ministry, and we're only able to do that because of new wine. So that's not reflected up here, but there are stories like that and things that we want to tell, and we'll try to share more of those as we move forward. If you're new and you don't know about new wine, go to our website and look at it, learn more about it. If you haven't pledged yet in this room or haven't given yet in this room, you can still do that. We're happy to receive pledges whenever. And so you can still pledge, you can still give, even if you don't pledge, which some people are doing as well, which is also fine. If you just go to our website and give online, you can just choose new wine, and so that's fine as well if you want to do that. So let's go to the next slide, and I'm going to tie these two things together. So if you take our general fund giving and new wine contributions, what we've actually received this year together, we're actually ahead of our budgeted income. So we're 1% ahead of our budgeted income and significantly ahead of last year's income. And we're going to finish the fiscal year with a net surplus for the first time in 3 years, which is exciting, and we're grateful for that. It'll be nice to get to the end of June and not to be thinking about how to trim the budget, which is helpful. And so we're looking forward to that. And The one piece, the one, however, is we will have used most likely. I mean, you never know how these couple of months are going to end. About $240,000 of new wine in this current fiscal year, which is a little bit more than we were hoping to use in this first year. But again, that is real money that has really come in over and above our normal general fund giving. So we're really encouraged by that, really excited about that. Happy overall with where we are. And again, want to just say thank you, because many of you have contributed to that, and I know we're giving over and above your normal giving. And so really grateful for you in those things. That's all I'm going to say for that for now. Happy to answer more questions later if you'd like. Let's go to the next one. I do want to touch quickly. G was going to mention a little bit more about this in his video, which nobody tell him it didn't work. Everybody just say, thanks for that video, man. It was so inspirational and wonderful. But two designated funds things that I wanted just to touch on here. Our missions fund. So we have received currently, you'll see the chart in the top right corner, we've received about 19,000 out of 56,000 that's needed. And you say, hey, wait, Caitlin just said something about like 89,000. The way that our missions fund works, and has worked in the history of Redeemer, and we're actually considering moving towards changing this, and so we've met with the Global Engage team to have these conversations. Over the course of however many years, I don't know how far back it goes, I'd have to ask Roger or Rob Alexander, or somebody who's been here longer, but we have about $90,000 that comes from general fund and is in our budget that goes towards missions. But their, this pledge is the right word, their committed support of cross-cultural workers exceeds that. And so they have a need for direct giving to the missions fund, which is a fund that, again, you can designate and choose. And that has been the way it has been for a very long time. And there have been people in the history of Redeemer that have given a lot to that fund, but over many, many years, the designated giving to that fund has been going down little by little by little by little. And so we're at a spot now where they're having to rethink some things with that fund and how to fund it. So again, we are still, there's much more money than is reflected on this chart going to missions, but this is the designated money that's being designated directly. And the way that they have done this over the years and where they are currently is they need about $4,700 a month donated directly to the fund, but this year they're averaging about $1,900, so about a $2,800 difference. Again, teams working on that. There has been a balance in there. That balance is depleting or is depleted now, and so they're rethinking some things there. But be praying for that. Be praying for cross-cultural workers and that team as they make some financial decisions over these next couple of weeks and couple of months. But if you'd like to give to that fund, you certainly are welcome to. The Deacons Fund, we received this year over $41,000. They've spent not quite all of that, but so far about $36,000. This number, I didn't want to put another chart up there, but our Deacons Fund this year has received already like over $16,000 more than last year. And so really grateful for that. I know the Mercy Deeks have been able to do all sorts of fun things this year with that money, and they enjoy giving that money away to great causes. And again, we also did that fundraiser for Western North Carolina in the fall as well. And so that money is represented here as well. But thank you for giving to the Deacons Fund, which goes to so many great things, both here internally and externally. So wanted to give a quick update on those two funds. We're going to work to communicate those things a little bit better moving forward and split those out so that you can see kind of where we are with those two funds and new wine. So lots of designated funds to talk about. So that's all for me for the financial update. I wanted to keep it short this time. Again, happy to answer questions if you have questions in person, or you can send me an email. If you have questions about other stuff, feel free to reach out to whoever was standing up here on the platform. If you have questions about those ministry areas, there is a QR code in your handout that you got, because Caitlin is the queen of QR codes. And there is a QR code there that you can also scan that and send a question, and she'll direct it to the right person if you have a question about anything that we have mentioned here this morning. So we do have some announcements. I say that every time. We do have some refreshments. Nobody wants to go to the cafeteria for announcements. We do have some refreshments, some snackies in the cafeteria. So if you'd like to go and grab those. We got about 15 minutes before the 11 o'clock service. So please join us there, hang out, and be together. Let me pray, and we'll close. Gracious God, we do thank you for all the work that you have done and are doing in and through us as a church and all these different ministries this year. God, we're so grateful, Lord, for the men and women, students, children that you have entrusted us with. God, I thank you for our directors and for our staff and those that weren't up here on the platform this morning, for all the work that they do to serve this little piece of your church that we call Redeemer Presbyterian. God, would you bless the work of our hands as we move from this year into the summer months, as we look ahead to next year. Lead us and guide us by your Spirit. Give us wisdom, give us courage. Lord, we ask and pray all these things in your name. Amen. Thanks, everyone.